The next day, I called the police. "We'll patrol the building," they said. "Keep notes, take photos." I did, but it didn't help. The man never left his apartment. No one ever saw him entering or leaving, yet things escalated. Lights would flicker when I walked by the window. I'd leave for work, and when I returned, small items were slightly moved again. My trash bag was sometimes on the floor outside, sometimes perfectly upright in the can. I began setting up cameras, motion detectors, but every night something strange happened. One camera would turn slightly, pointing away from the hall. Another would fail to record. I was living in a constant state of anxiety. I stopped leaving my apartment after dark. I avoided looking out my window. One night around 2 a.m. I woke up to a shadow on my wall. At first I thought it was a tree outside, but it moved differently. It paused. Then I heard the softest scraping sound against my door. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency? Someone's in my apartment building. I think they're watching me. The operator asked questions. I whispered my address. They promised a patrol would be sent. I waited, holding my breath. Minutes passed, then the shadow disappeared. I thought it was over. The next morning I found another note on my kitchen counter. It was typed this time. No fingerprints, no envelope, just a plain sheet of paper. "Good morning, sleep well." I called the police again. They checked. Nothing, no forced entry, no fingerprints, just a note. Weeks passed. I started considering moving, but before I could, the final escalation happened. I was working late one night on my laptop when I saw something outside the corner of my eye. A figure in 3B's window, crouched low, staring at my living room like a predator. My blood ran cold. I grabbed my phone and recorded. Zoomed in, his face, his eyes, he looked wrong, too wide, too still, unblinking. I took the video straight to the police. They investigated the apartment. Nothing. No evidence he had entered mine. They suggested restraining orders. But the strangest part. The night after the investigation, I came home and saw the figure across the hall, in a chair, perfectly calm, holding a cup of coffee as if nothing had happened. And on my doorstep, another note. "I'll see you tomorrow." I moved 2 days later. I didn't sleep the night before. I packed everything quietly, left the keys on the counter, never said goodbye. When I returned a week later to retrieve a forgotten charger, 3B was empty. The apartment was cleaned out. No furniture, no signs anyone had lived there except a single note on the counter. "You can leave," but I never left. I've never been back. Even now, when I live somewhere new, I catch myself checking windows across the street. Shadows move differently at night. Sounds echo differently. And every time I walk by a window, I can't help but feel someone somewhere is watching. Because sometimes the creepy stories aren't made up. Sometimes they're just real enough.